We are so delighted that you were able to make it, and we're delighted that we're able to present this to you this morning. I'm going to have Mr. Garcia, he's going to come up and introduce some things or say some things, and then we'll come back with some other things. Please make sure that you have signed in, that you have also put your name on the slip, because we do have some door prizes and they're pretty good. Say so myself, put my name on the slip. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put my name on the slip. But Mr. Garcia is going to go over some things and then we'll get started.
Good morning, parents. It's awesome to have you here at LGE. I will tell you, out of all the parent workshops that we've had this year, we have one every month at the school with valuable resources. This is the one that's been most well attended, so I thank you. I hope that you are all receiving our correspondence. We do communicate with parents through 3 ways. We have a text line, remind.com. If you are not receiving text from us and would like to, please let me know. I'm getting your information, so you should be connected that way. We also have the school newsletter. We have a global email list as well. So all our correspondence and events we send out that way. If there's anything else that you need in the school, sometimes I've talked to parents where they're hitting a wall with a situation at the school where they're not getting answers. I'm here for you. Okay, that's what I do. I work with the families and I work with the parents to make sure that you're getting what you need for your students to progress and to get ahead. We wanted to have something to say that we appreciate you. April is Autism Awareness Month nationwide, but here at LGE we wanted to take a moment, take a day, take these few hours that we're going to, or moments, minutes that we're going to be here to say we're with you, and we want to give you our support as much as we can. We really appreciate our ASD team. They do an awesome job, and we know that you're going to enjoy today. We hope that you do. One disclaimer: if you're shy with the pictures, you can always turn away because I'll be taking a lot of pictures. It's my job, and I do enjoy it too. So thank you so much for being here. Ms. Robinson, if you would advance my slides for thank you. So just wanted to remind you, we do have the school newsletter. If you need copies, we have copies here. We also send that out digitally, both through a text line and our global email list. And it always has all the events. It's a 2-sided document, so you'll get what's going on this month, a message from the principal, and in the back you'll get the programs for the following month. Next slide, please. Volunteering. If you're going on a field trip, most of you know the process, but just in case you don't, the website to volunteer is volunteers.ocps.net. You don't have to volunteer just for field trips. We can use you here at the school in many different ways. So if you have the time, please, we welcome you. You can go on there. It'll be set for the year. This year ends in June, so you'll become a volunteer until June. After that, if you decide to keep on volunteering, you just go in there, renew the security questions, and it automatically renews your volunteer application. If you need any assistance with that, please let me know. And this is my contact info. Phone, email, Facebook, very important. This one, I'm trying to promote more because we want to get more likes. LGE Parent Engagement, and our Twitter line is at LGE Parents. We would like to show you this video. This video has been showing on our LGE TV channel that we have running 24/7 on the public TVs in the school. So your kids have been seeing this every day. We also put this in the morning announcements for our kids to see this month. Go ahead.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the science at autismspeaks.org.
All right, thank you so much, and I'll be available at the end if you have any questions, and now Ms. Robinson. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. We've had some technical difficulties this morning, so we're hoping that all this plays through and we're able to do what we want to do and give you the information. As you can see, this is our wonderful, dynamic ASD team. So this is on April the 2nd, we have no choice in the matter. We start getting these emails and text messages right around the end of the month, and we have them until April 2nd. We must all wear blue on that day. So these are all of the parents, teachers, our special Mr. Henry, who goes and runs and takes our kids and pick our kids up when we've already made it to the room or whatever he needs us to do. And these are the persons who work with your kids daily. We are a great team. And when I say that, if someone in another room needs something, we're Johnny on the spot for each other. So we work together well with all of the kids, and we work with all of the teachers and the parents. We are just all work together as a big ASD family. So we thank them for what they do, and we are also always pleased to have you all and what you do to support us and how we support you. A couple of years ago, one of my coworkers and I went to a workshop, and in that workshop, I just sort of said, wow, we've got to do this at Lake Gym. Because we have someone here who has been a part of our team, whose son has come through Lake Gym and gone beyond the walls of Lake Gym. And I thought, wow, she should come before you and tell you her story, the story of her child. And then we were just praying that her husband could join her this morning, and he is here, because that is a different perspective. And I'm so glad that we have some dads in the room, some uncles are, in the room, so that they can help and hear what these parents have to say about a child who has come through Lake Gym, who's gone beyond the walls of Lake Gym, and this year is graduation for him. There's a lot of information that we give you when you come for your IEP meetings. One of the things that we talk about is how, what kind of diploma your child will receive. So I want you to listen very carefully and attentively to our speaker and her husband, and at the end we'll come back and we'll do some questions and answers and some other things, okay? At this time, our speaker for this morning, that's you. That would be good.
Okay. All right. As most of you know, I've been working at Lake Gym for a long time, and I work with the babies, the pre-K babies in the ASD unit. And this is, I'm Myra Padilla. This is my husband, Caesar. And, all right. So, anyways, autism is a very touchy thing for me. As you guys know, I know your struggle. I know your tears. I know you're late at night thinking about your child. I know all of that. He's 18, and I still have nights where I'm like, what's his future? We have to outlive him, because what's his, what could he, it's difficult as a parent. But when he was born, we didn't have any problems. He met all his milestones. Every single milestone he met, except, and he didn't walk, he started running. He he was on the move. At 2, we noticed that he wasn't talking at all. Like, he wasn't really saying anything. He was just like point, like he would grab my hand and like point with my hand. Like, he wasn't pointing himself. And my daughter knew all his, like, she was like, oh, he wants milk, or he wants cookies, or she spoke for him. So I thought it was just that he just needed a little bit of speech to help him. So we started him in speech at 2, and then we found speech helps. Early intervention, I didn't know, but early intervention is the best thing you can ever do for your child. Early intervention is key. I didn't know, but thank God I started him at 2. He started speech at 2, and at 3, he was diagnosed with autism, which was like that was horrible. It was like, we didn't even know I didn't know what autism was to then. So he was diagnosed at 3. They said that he should start school early, that was a big deal, and I really did not want him to start. I didn't even take him to children's church because he couldn't talk. And I'm thinking, how much something happens, he can't tell us. You know, like, it's difficult. It's very difficult. So they said he should start at 3, so we were like, okay. So the first day of school, we took him, I cried my eyeballs out, and he made me laugh because he's like, they are going to give him back, right? Because I was like, ooh, they're going to give him back. I'm like, well, I guess, I don't know what's going to happen. So that was rough. He was a runner. He was like, I thank God for this guy right here. Because God has truly blessed me with him. Because I cannot imagine doing it by myself. Any of it. You have been my rock. Big time. It was hard. Isaiah ran. He didn't know danger. He would run. He was never a behavior, but he didn't know, like...
Our pictures, if you see them, I'm always like...
Somebody's got to hold him.
Yeah, because he'll just take off.
He would just run. I was that parent at the mall with the stroller and a big old kid. Because if he wasn't with me, I still had to do things I had to do. I have a daughter, too. And he would put his feet down, and I would practically flip over the stroller, and I'm like, put your feet up. And do it like 80 times up the mall, because he just didn't know. He would run. Thank you. He would run like... we would go to the park. We have a 20-year-old, and Isaiah's 18 now. We would go to the park, and we would see parents just sitting there, like, chatting, drinking coffee, reading books. I'm like, how do people read books at the playground? We would have to position ourselves. Okay, this is the playground. You're on that side. I'm on this side. We never chilled at the playground like everybody else. We had to be the ones that on guard.
That happened after he got diagnosed. That same day we went somewhere to the park, and the boy took off, like to the lake. I actually had to dive
into the lake
to get him out. So that was a rough day.
That was
diagnosed that day. That boy just almost drowned that day. So
and he went in.
I had to, it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not at all easy.
But it's doable. It's not impossible.
It's rough, but so when he first started school, they said he should start at 3, which I really didn't want to do. I wanted to keep him home till kindergarten, and then but then they said no, early intervention. So I said fine. I started him at 3. He started school. He was that runner that there was no fence around the playground back then, but because of Isaiah, they had to put a fence around the playground for him. He would take off running. The teachers were. I never wanted anybody to be inconvenienced for my kids. Like, the thought of somebody being inconvenienced because my son was all over the place was like, wherever we were, Isaiah was with us, Jasmine was with us. We never let anybody take care of them because I always thought, how if he runs, they can't catch him? So he was always with us.
Also, don't let anybody tell you what your kid can do. That's the best answer. And, teachers are great, but people are people, and sometimes people just see what's in front of them, and we have a teacher tell us that.
She said he was 3, and she said, he will always be in special education. He will always be in the unit. And I told her,
basically, she was seeing what was in front of her.
At that moment.
And it's that's
right. And I told her, I don't know what God's plan has for my son.
You don't know what. So I told my wife, and I said, that's why. I mean, it's nothing I it's a mistake. After that, try to do everything we could. You gotta be involved, because the school can only do so much. I mean, you have the kids here for what, a few hours, 7 hours. They might love the kid, but nobody's gonna take care of the kid like they do. So you have to go out. It's not easy, like I said, you have to be, it's a special task. Not everybody, some people just give up with their kids. They want to let the system take care of the kid. That's my son. That's my son. Especially with a boy. You know what I'm saying? You know, you were going to put the baseball, the basketball in front of him, want him to do certain things, and you know, no, that's not his thing. No, that's not him. I mean, there might be kids that are, I'm not saying, in my case, my son, that was not his thing. But it was tough as a man to see my kid. And not only that, but you know, your kid is special. He doesn't have a lot of you know, when I was a kid, I was that age, I was raised in Brooklyn, so we were kind of like, you know, but him, it's like, if you're not for the kid, you gotta be protecting the child anywhere he is, because he doesn't have a lot of those instincts built to him. There are a lot, I want to say they have a lot of innocence that carries on even when they're 13, 14, 15,
18 and he still has that innocence.
And sometimes you're like, you gotta be, you know, and it's almost like, there's a lot of things that are not gonna change as far as that aspect, but that does not mean that you can't go out there and do a job, you know, be able to pick things up, get a job, do a lot of things that regular people do. But there's a lot of things that he's probably gonna be, listen, you're not gonna be street, you know, you might not be able to have a lot of the things that you would need to be able to be out there and succeed in certain areas. So you got to kind of put him in places where you know he's going to succeed. You got to place people around him that you know are going to help him. You know what I mean? That's what we were trying to do. We were overprotected. But anyways, you got to have a circle of people around him that supports the child. Like we had our friends from church. They were great with us. You know, we had friends. So we always try to
play with them. Our pastor, he would play. We were in the youth group back then, and our pastor would play with him, but he was always laying hands on Isaiah. Always, he would play with him and tickle him, but he was always praying for Isaiah. Always praying for Isaiah.
And the thing is, our regular child, which I think I love my child, and the thing is, he might not be able to spell. He was little. He might not gotten beat up or something. Unless I saw a mark on him, I wouldn't know. So I had to make sure that my son was being taken care of. That if I see anything, I would be very involved in the school. If something happened, she ended up working at school because she wanted to be involved. You know, so that's how she got into the school. But anyways, you have to kind of be taken care of. I mean, the school will do a good job, but at the end of the day, as a parent, you have to take care of your kids. You have to be involved. You have to make sure that, you know, just do everything you can on your side.
Speech outside, I always felt like the speech they get in school, it's a bonus. I always felt like what really gets your kid to the next level is speech outside. Therapy's outside. That's like, if you can find it, it's going to take your kid to the next level. Because speech here, it's good. I'm not saying it's not good, but it's in a group. Your kid needs more one-on-one. That's what helped with Isaiah. I used to take him 3 days a week. If we couldn't pay something else or something had to wait, speech had to be paid. Speech came first. If there was speech started at home, and then different things happened, and we had to go to this facility to do speech, but speech was like...
And you could do a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of resources out there that you could actually do and take your own and then try to help him, because they're very visual. They don't understand, I don't know, it's like, they don't, like, sometimes my son cannot, expressions, like facial expressions, like they can't really, you know, read them that well. So there's a lot of things that you kind of like had to learn how to, I guess not cope with, but understand and kind of maneuver around certain things so that he can understand certain things, like with homeworks. Sometimes
I didn't have to do homework, and thank God I didn't do homework. I cooked. That was my time to cook. And he would sit there for hours with him, trying to get, and second grade was the worst. First he started being partly mainstream first grade when the teacher said he would never be out. He was out half day first grade. In second grade, he spread his wings at Lake Gem, and he's never turned back. He's always been out.
They're very smart children. I mean, my
smart.
son, he couldn't talk, but at 2 years old, he was basically reading. He could put like C, A, T. He could read. The boy could read, but he couldn't talk. I was like, how the heck? And you can't talk to me. I mean, I remember, you know, my son, sentences. He was not able to tell me love me, like I love you. I think it was probably 7, 8, maybe 7, 6, 7, 8. And it's just, you know, that's something that you gotta, you know, kind of. You want your son to be out there and play sports, be like a lot like what you were or whatever. And when you get your child, you know, sometimes you feel a little bit like cheated. But at the end of the day, I love my son, and I wouldn't take that.
There's a lot of things that I know that are characteristics of children with autism, like covering your ears or that type of stuff. I always felt like if there's something you nail into him, like Isaiah used to cover his ears, but I used to always say Isaiah hands down, because I want to take him out of the world of autism. If he's doing something different, I want to try and nip it. Like when he first starts it, he would cover his ears and we'd say Isaiah hands down, Isaiah hands down. After a while he stopped. He didn't even do it.
A lot of times, I don't know, because I don't agree with a lot. I mean, if we're going by our experience, everybody else is going to have to.
Everybody's got a different journey.
Adapt and take whatever works for you. In our case, you know, he has autism, and I think that's probably the first time I've said that. I try to discipline him just like every other child. I mean, if you just because he has autism or he or she, that doesn't mean that you can't. No, you can't treat him like that. You got to treat him. Yes, you got certain things you got to do, but at the end of the day, if you don't discipline him, he's gonna be wild, and he might pick up stuff that you don't want him to pick up. You know what I mean? So, as a child, I try. Hey, no, you don't do that. No. And
I had a timeout when he was nonverbal.
I was like, and maybe sometimes I might have been a little rougher, like maybe, but I did not want that. Whatever he had, I wanted to make sure that I kind of. You're not going to get a behavior problem because supposedly you got this. No, let's deal with it. What's going on? Let's talk. And it's not easy because of communication. Sometimes it's like, what happened? And he can't express to you, or she cannot express to you what they actually. So sometimes you got to kind of like, just. But we always try to love them, discipline them, just like like his sister, and. Try to treat him just like any other child, any other parent would treat a child, even with the disability that he has. So that part of it as a parent, don't be afraid to put him on timeout. To
They understand. Trust me. I work with them babies. They know. They know a lot.
If you don't do it at home,
they know.
They're going to have to do it at school. So at the end of the day, you want your child to move from, any child to be able to move into the world and be able to, do everything like everybody else. So he has to get used to disciplines. He has to get used to following rules. So
and there's things that other parents out there, they don't understand. But there's everything's a teachable moment with our kids. Like even when we say, Isaiah, we're going into Target, what area are you going to be in? Electronics or toys? Okay. Don't walk so close because he's not thinking. He's 6 foot. I'm like, you can't walk. When you're going up there, you got to keep your distance away from these people. Don't like big people. You can't be all among people. And you go, okay.
I think this changes you too because sometimes you see people and you're like, man, that's rude, man. Heck, he's rude, man. But a lot of times you don't realize that some people are not just rude or like sometimes.
Some people are rude.
Yeah, they are. But sometimes you go through a door, right? You'll go through a door and you kind of put your hand up for the next person to come up. That's a teaching for my son. That's not something that automatically comes up because a lot of times they're all about, So he's walking through the door, somebody right behind him, the door slams on the person.
At church.
So then I was like, and then this is probably an extreme. I was like, you know what? Okay. So then next time we went in, he held the door, but now he holds the door too long.
Yeah.
So now everybody's going. He's like, oh, Everybody, so it's like...
We're leaving church. The weekend before, she was like, you left the door closed on a little old lady. I did that so rude. You have to hold it. He was like, oh, I didn't know. The next day, we're walking out, going to our car, and Jasmine's like, Mom, look at the door. He told half the church. Ow, I'm like,
so, you know, you gotta, but you gotta take the time. I mean, you'll learn, and then eventually, but that's something that is part of us as parents. You know, you don't wait for the kid to slam the door on somebody, and then, you know, that's stuff that you gotta watch, and then, okay, he needs to work, and then you yourself go out there, and he's 18. I mean, this has happened, what, like
a month ago.
But we've never been in that situation where I caught him. Like, who knows how many times he's done that? This is the first time I actually caught him, but that's something you gotta kind of, as a child, when they're small, you say, okay, he needs to, okay, that's not something that we got. And then you go out there and you try to teach him the right way to do things, but that's something that you can't, he's not gonna pick, a lot of stuff he's not gonna pick up on his own. You gotta kind of guide him through it. So it's a very hands-on, you know, that stuff that you gotta watch.
Everything is a teachable moment with them.
So, but it's not impossible. I mean, it's been a journey where it's not been easy. I'm not going to tell you here and tell you that.
It's still there's times.
Everything is a stage. It's like,
Right.
okay, you got out of this. Okay, next. And then now he's going to graduate. But now it's the real. And then so basically it's all in seasons. You got this season and you got to work your butt off to try to get it. And then you got the next. So everything is. But life is like that's what life is though. You know, you can go from test to test to test. So. But I would not change, and I know it sounds weird, but everything happens for you. And I would not change what, I mean, of course, nobody wants to suffer.
Nobody wants your kid to have a boo-boo.
Nobody wants to suffer. And you know, like I said, to be honest, I cried when my son, when they got diagnosed with that.
I still cry.
I didn't show her nothing about it, but I'm over here, you know, she know it's going to be okay, and then I'm like, so it happens, but you pick yourself up, you know. He needs for you to be strong. As men of the house, we have to be supportive to our wives. For our children, we have to be strong. And at the end of the day, I mean, you all things for Christ. I mean, that's what we believe in. And I just feel like we still got a long way to go. But as far as I know, I think that's everything that's happening.
They could just never, ever be underestimated. Like, when he left Lake Gem, I was like, oh my God, will he be accepted? My daughter was going to Orlando Science. That's a really good school. It's like, oh my God, how about if he doesn't get accepted? What are we going to do? The thought of him going to Evans because he was so, I can't even imagine. So I'm like, oh my God. But then he did get approved to the Orlando Science. He did middle, he did high, he's supposed to graduate now. And when you, at that school, you have to hold your own. You don't get extra help. You might have tutoring after school, but you have to hold your own. And he's been doing his thing.
You have to be challenged too. I mean,
he gets challenged.
You can't. You're only going to know how much you can do unless you challenge him. If you just want to, you know, if you don't put the bar here, you're never going to know how hard you can. I mean, don't underestimate the kid.
I've underestimated a few times and he has got me so good. When they did the FCAT, 4th grade, the FCAT writes, I was like hysterical. I said, he's got paragraphs and paragraphs. How in the world? And when I said, Isaiah, how was the test? It was fine. Everything's fine. How was your day? It was good. Everything's good. I'm like, he's like, guys, how was your day? Good. I'm like, no, what was He's like, good. I'm like, and then they got the scores, and he got a 4.0 on his FCAT writing. So I'm like, okay, just recently they were saying, the seniors, write a quote for the yearbook. I'm like, Isaiah, as soon as the school year started, Isaiah, you're going to have to write a quote for the yearbook. Tell us when. We'll help you figure one out. Don't just write anything down. Oh, okay. Have they asked you? Nope. Have they asked you? No. I'm like, what in the world? I checked and they said something about a quote. So I'm like, oh my God, what did you write? So I said, Isaiah, they said that there was a deadline. Did you write the quote? He's like, yeah, I did it. I returned it in. I was like, oh, Lord. Isaiah, what did you write? He's like, oh, I just wrote, if you believe in yourself. That's what he said. If you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. And I was driving, and when I picked him up and he said that, I was like, that's so true! Isaiah, yes! So I called him and he said, what happened? I'm like, you wouldn't believe what he said. And I was like, but it's just, they can never be underestimated. Sometimes they'll blow your mind, but then there's sometimes it's like, that's so big. Really? Like, you just think to do it that way? Or But every day is a teachable moment, and
It's all on, I mean, like I said, it's the only thing. I was just 18, some of you guys
what's
had
that? What's that?
What is that? It's so big enough.
Because it's like you. Because it's you.
Oh, no, that's not right.
His head's not really that big, people.
So, but at the end of the day, parent involvement is
Everything.
It's everything. I'm going to say the school maybe 30%, in my case, 70% has to be the parent. And I know it's hard because everybody's got lives, everybody's busy, you're working, trying to, make it ends meet and all that, but your child, that has to be a part. If you wanted to be or be successful, you have to put in the work. It's just, there's no other way around it.
We're done. All right.
I saw a lot of heads going like this, like I understand, that's my struggle. I see a lot of tears, and I'm so excited. Let's do a survey of the room, because I want you to see where we are in the room. If you have a son in our program, raise your hand. Okay, very good. Son. Okay, hands down. If you have a daughter in our program, raise your hand. Okay, thank you. If you have both, raise your hand. So I want everyone to see where we are in the room. And the reason I did that was because some of us have one, some of us have more than one. Okay, so the struggle and what we're going through, someone else is going through with a male and possibly even a female, with a boy or a girl. If you have a child who will soon be going to middle school, raise your hand. Okay. I'm going to, can I say his name? Du Bois. Okay. I know I have a lot of my parents in here, and I don't want to call names without permission, and I didn't get it. So I know that these parents have a son that was in my classroom who is down Main Street. Some of our kids go out for special area, so they interact with our mainstream students at some point in the day. Some of them go out. I know this particular situation because it was mine. This is one of my students. He came from Orlando Science. He came to Lake Jim. He was in our unit. It wasn't where he needed to be. We worked really hard. Now he's in one of our regular classrooms. So when they say there is no limit to what your child can do, there is no limit. I know that when you come to your IEP meetings, oftentimes we talk about the kind of diploma. And I know this parent is looking at middle school and where we're going to go for middle school and the kind of diploma that we want the boy to have. I want to say that since we are at the Orlando Science School, we are getting a regular diploma.
That's what we're on track for it. We'll find out April 26th.
Okay, so we're all praying that April 26th we have the regular diploma for Isaiah, because he really deserves it. He worked really hard when he was here. Middle school, to excel at Orlando Science is not an easy task. So we're really hoping that they give him the regular diploma. Now, I didn't get Ms. Scott to come in, but when you come to your IEP meetings and you get all of the information, we give you information about CARD, we give you information about other resources that are available. Please, whatever you can do, get that information, work with your child outside of the school system. I know that I have a parent that came in who brought an advocate, and if she doesn't mind, you may want to talk with her. How did you get an advocate to come in with you? What does your advocate do? How did you pay for it? Does it cost? Those kinds of things. Some of you are getting ready for, well, most of you are going to be staying here with us, but you may be transitioning from pre-K to the kindergarten unit. So that's a different transition. We want to provide for you any information that we possibly can. It was our goal to try and have some of the vendors here this morning, but then there's some legalities that we didn't recognize that we would have. So if you are in need of a resource, I need someone to help with speech, or I need a name of someone, we can send you a list of providers, and then you can go from that list of providers. Just put a star by your name, and we'll send you a list of providers that we have access to and we have information for. I am going to have one other person come up and talk about beyond high school, and this is for our presenters because I know that at this time they're looking to see what will we do beyond high school, and I want her to just share her experience because I want everybody to have their vision on, you know, further coming up. Ms. Radcliffe, if you would please come up and speak with us. She's still hopping at an incident. She's one of our fabulous subs, so she will sub for us at any time. And so I want her to just speak with you very briefly about her experience.
Good morning. So I have 4 children. My oldest, my only boy, and I call him my favorite son, was diagnosed with autism at 7. Earlier he was diagnosed with ADD and RAD, and come to find out it was autism. He's older now. He is, next week, I was a little late this morning because we had finals this week and he's a little stressed out. He will be getting his AA from Lake Sumter State College. And it was not an easy journey. We spent a couple of years in kindergarten and a couple of years in 3rd grade. He has Asperger's, which when he was growing up, he was just defined as Asperger's, and now he's just high-functioning autism. But as he was growing up, he had Asperger's, so he's verbal, which made it a little bit easier. But it was a struggle. It was a journey. It was a lot of tears. You know, I heard Myron say 2nd grade was a doozy. For me, it was 3rd grade. I would never want to do that again, and I had to do it twice. But 3rd grade was a struggle. I don't know what if it was growing, you know, hormones going on there or something, but 3rd grade was a struggle. It almost caused my husband and I to divorce, and I'm pretty sure some of my other children wanted to move out. You know, and then it got easier, and then it got hard transitioning, not from middle school, but from middle school to high school. That was a lot of anxiety there. It was tough freshman year. A lot of tardies, because it took a long time to get him out of the house. But you have to advocate for your child. He spent 5th grade in a private school because I had gone to his IEP meeting in 4th grade with an advocate, because I wasn't so thrilled about 3rd grade. And so in 4th grade, I went to his IEP meeting with an advocate. Wasn't so thrilled in 4th grade. In 5th grade, I pulled him, and he went to private school for a year. And he excelled, and in 6th grade, he went back to, he wanted to be in our local schools. So in 6th grade, we tried, you know, back to his public school. You have to advocate for your child because it changes. It changes as they change. It changed again in 7th grade. He grew 3 inches and had this shift where before he was like a people kind of kid, and my fear was him walking off of anybody to one day I woke up and he was like, I'm not talking to anybody but my mom and maybe my dad on Saturday. So you have to meet them where they are, where their comfort level is, which was the biggest help for me to learn and then to get the rest of my family to learn, and then the circle broadened. He's a pacer, so for years his IEP had preferential seating. He was mainstream in 2nd grade. So for years his preferential seating was in front of the class because, you know, you think that's a great idea. Be closer to the teacher, eye contact and all that. It sent his anxiety, until he could tell us what the problem was, it sent his anxiety sky high to be in the front of the class with everybody behind him looking at him. We changed his IEP to the back of the room, and he had permission to get up and stand if he needed to behind his desk, and it didn't bother anybody because he was in the back of the room. And like that, he went from struggling to get a D to A's and B's. By 5th grade, he got every single question right on the FCAT, and they did not think he was going to. It was still FCAT. And I was told all year long, he's not going to pass the FCAT, he's not going to pass the FCAT, he's not going to pass the FCAT. He got an award from Tallahassee for getting every single question right on the FCAT. Perfect score. Perfect score. High school was a struggle at the end. We didn't know 2 weeks before graduation, we didn't know if he was going to walk. There was, you know, an online class requirement that he refused to do. I could have beat him every day. He was not doing that online class. And it was a struggle to get him to complete that online class. And it was a group effort. We had like 6 days left. And there are pictures, and it's funny, somebody took a picture, and it is my whole family crowded around him at my in-laws' house at a function because we were running out of time. And it's my 3 daughters, my husband, me, over his shoulder while he's on his laptop, because it was a group effort to get him to graduate, but he graduated. He did take a semester off. He was overwhelmed after that. He took the semester off, and he finished with his AA. Like I said, he has to pass one more math final. Then he gets his AA, and he is transitioning in August. He starts at UCF, and he is staying on campus, which, hallelujah. Because he wants to, and UCF is a great resource with the Card Center. I highly recommend getting involved with that. Just the resources that I got from the Card Center throughout our journey, keeping me informed, and I'm pretty informed. I mean, there are schools that are like, oh God, it's that Radcliffe lady. Because I was in their face saying, this is what it says and this is what we're going to do, and you know what, this isn't working, we're going to change it. And I know we just had an IEP meeting 4 months ago, but I want another one. I want another one, schedule me another one now. And they will. And so I know that, you know, if I walk into schools like middle school, some people shudder. They're like, oh, does she have any more kids here? I'm like, no, last one's in high school, you're safe. But nobody will be a stronger advocate for your child than you. We've been blessed with amazing educators, and I know you've got some great ones here, but at the end of the day, the greatest advocate your child can have is you. But like I said, he is transitioning to UCF. He is in driver's ed. He's been in driver's ed for 2 years now. He's 21. He's a very good driver. It took a lot of lessons, and it was expensive because I can't drive with him. There's not enough Xanax in the world. So he is now in his 3rd round of driving classes, and he drives very well. He's just really nervous. He drives like this, and he's like, I could kill somebody with this. And I'm like, well, let's not do that. How about we just pull over? How about we pull over and get a professional to do this? So he's in his 3rd round. I'm hoping this will be the one, and maybe it won't. Maybe he won't ever drive. Because I'm not, he's not going to drive because he's uncomfortable. But he's making the attempt. He's moving into the dorms in August. He has a younger sister who lives in the dorms in Colorado. And for him, getting his AA is one thing, but going away to college, even though it's UCF and it's literally 22 miles down the road, he needs to, going to college means living in the dorm. And UCF has autism-sensitive dorms. Their RAs are autism sensory trained, and it's fabulous. And he's really looking to do that growth there. And this is the boy who I had to bribe and demand that he go to one football game all 4 years in high school, but he went. And there was this cute little girl that we knew from elementary school. She was in the autism class with him. And she came and sat down next to him, and we were like a couple of rows back, and there was my son, oblivious to, he doesn't pick up on social cues. And this little girl came and sat down next to him, and she was chit-chatting, and he's like, watching the football game, because my mom said I have to go to a football game sometime in the 4 years of high school. His sister was in the band. I used that as an excuse. I'm like, you must go support your sister. And and she was like, boy, I'm hungry. And my son, Ever the gentleman, took out his wallet, handed her $5 and said, the concession stand's over there, and went back to watch the football game. So as she went to go get her nachos, I'm like, Brian, why don't you go walk with her to the concession stand so you weren't in front of your parents? Oh, well, she didn't say that. I'm like, you're right. I'm like, he's going to live with us forever. It's going to the dorm. We took a family vacation last year. We went on a cruise. And it just happened to fall that we were in Honduras on his 21st birthday. And I was like, we're in Honduras, and we're at the bar, and the music is playing. And I'm like, Brian, get a drink. And he was like, okay. And he got a drink, a frozen something in a pink cup. And he sat at the corner of the bar in this loud, beautiful place, everybody on vacation. He sat in the corner of the bar, sipping a drink out of a straw, reading a Harry Potter book. And I said, hey, what are you doing? He's like, living my best life. living his best life by himself, and he loved it. He thought it was the greatest. He's like, I was with my family, I met some people. I'm like, you met no one. You spoke to no one. You ordered a drink and sat in the corner. He's like, well, look at all the people around for my birthday. I'm like, you're right, you're right. So love them where they are, educate them where they are, push them a little bit, know their limits, and just listen. That's the greatest thing that, you know, my girls, I have a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, and an 18-year-old, all girls. And I have always joked as they were growing up, Ryan's my favorite son, Ryan's my favorite son. I have no favorite children, but Ryan's my favorite son. Because he's my own boy, so I get away with that. And for a while, he'd walk around and he'd be like, I'm Mom's favorite son. And then as he got older, he was like, I'm Mom's only son. He was like, no competition. I'm like, yes, but you're my favorite one. But he took a little bit more effort. He took a little bit more of my time. So I made time special for them when I could. Because when he was little, he was. He hair pulls, he chews, to this day he chews. He has gotten better because with training from us, he chews his clothes. So he's got shirts that have holes all around the thing. And he does that at home when he gets stressed out. Sometimes he realizes he's doing it out in public. And he's good about not doing it, but he still does it to this day. He's a pacer. I have in my house, God bless, I don't know why I gave him a room on the second floor. He has a wall that has a smooth spot from his hand because he touches the wall and paces upstairs. Did I mention upstairs? All the way to the other wall and touches the wall while he's studying. And he studies a lot. He's in college. And he touches the wall. And if we're studying finals like we have been this week, his carpet has a path. And his walls have smooth spots where he touches. And we've tried to get him to stop, and he's like, I can't think if I don't do it. And he does it again. And I'm like, you know what, that's a give me. You got to pick and choose your give me. I'm like, you may not chew your shirt while we're at church and come home with a wet spot after 42 minutes in church, but you can go up to your room while you're studying and pace to your heart's content. It drives my husband crazy. He's like, how long are we going to let him do this up here? I'm like, till he's done with his assignment. Let's hope it's a quick one. I don't know. Could be here a while. He grunts. He doesn't grunt in public anymore. We worked really, 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 really hard on that one. I was like, Brian, you cannot do that. You scare people. You are huge and big, and you walk around doing this, and people are like, oh. And he doesn't know he's doing it. So I had to make him aware that he was doing it. Then I had to make him aware that it was socially unacceptable. And then I had to make him aware that now you're this big and it's scary, so stop. Stop. That's it. Find something else to do to give you that calm, that release, that comfort. Because you cannot be a 6 foot tall, 240-pound man walking behind people in Target going, somebody's going to deck you, probably your dad, if he didn't know you. You can walk up behind a woman and grunt. So it's always changing. It's always a process. And pick and choose your battles. He has shirts that he only wears at home, and those are his 2 shirts. And if he's studying, he will, I don't get it, and I don't have to get it, but he will go upstairs and change his shirt because he's like doing something. It's a lot of computer work in college, so if he's doing something on the computer, he's like, let me go change my shirt, you're going to scream at me. And he's right, I am. That's a good shirt with no holes, so don't do your homework in it. Put on a shirt you can chew, and he chews. But he doesn't chew walking around, the neighborhood anymore, which is good. So it's possible. If anyone would have told me when he was in 3rd grade for the 2nd time that I would be getting ready to, he says he's not walking, I can guarantee you, I don't care if it's just an AA, he's walking. But if anyone would have told me that 8-year-old pull my hair out screaming in the hallway, you should have never had me, child, would be getting his AA and going off to live in a dorm, I would have been like, you're nuts, I don't know what you're drinking, but can I have some? And we're here. We're here. I was late today because today was a rough morning, so that doesn't go away. He has a final today, he had class. He only has classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays this year, but yesterday he had to go to school, so today was a stressful morning, and I thought I was going to be here at 9, and I got here at 9:15, because it took 20 minutes extra to get him out of the house. But he got out of the house, and he went to school, and here I am. So just don't give up, keep going, keep pushing. know when to push, know when to step back, and let them have that little give me. And I'm going to hang out here for a little bit, so if anybody wants to talk to me, I'll be in the back. And thank you.
At this time, I know Mr. Padilla has to go, so if you have any questions, we'll take time for questions and answers. Our principal dropped in, and now she might be coming back in.
Yeah.
So we'll give her a minute to greet our parents, and then if you have questions, we can have questions and answers. We're going to take a picture, and then we'll come from there. Dr. Brown, good morning.
Good morning. How are you all doing? All right. Come on. How are you all doing?
Great.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. So I apologize that I wasn't able to bring you all this morning. We had two teachers send out kind of out, and we got science rotations going on for 5th grade here at FSA. So I was, well, you know, all about the campus. So I understand that you had some wonderful people speaking to you today, some parents, and I didn't realize you had a baby that was, you know,
He's on the spectrum.
And all of that. So again, I welcome you all here, and if there's anything that we can do for you to make sure that we provide the appropriate services, the best services for you all, please do not hesitate to let us know. But I will tell you that we do have a fabulous staff here at Lake Jim Elementary that works with all of our students, especially our students who have autism. And I will tell you, when I came here about 4 years ago, I was told that Lake Jim Elementary parents love the units here because the staff that works with the students care very deeply about the children. And so they don't just take the students and, okay, two more years inside. No, they provide the things that they need so that they can be successful. So I do appreciate our staff, your staff, our family. And again, we thank you all for coming out to support and get some great information. All right? All right. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, if we have anyone who has any questions of our presenters, at this time, if you just raise your hand, or if you have any general questions or comments at this time. Nobody? I'm going to start picking on you. Okay. Well, before we let one of our speakers leave, if we could have everyone come up, we'll do a picture with all of our parents and the presenters. If you guys would come up, please. I'm going to do a quick picture.
Real quick, parents, all the resources that you heard about, I will make sure to get those websites. And if your email is on there, if your phone number is on there, I will make sure that you get that. If you don't get that, and I would say in a week, please let me know, give me a call, and I will make sure that you get it, okay?